The Tonkiness build returns after GGG triple tap this build. You can just stand still in Uber boss fights and not die to it while dealing pretty decent single target damage. Many items is self-crafted and this guide will cover step by step how to craft all the items. This is my rework Ignite Eviscerate / Reave Elementalist. What's up guys, Budget here. We're using two skills, one for clear, one for signal target. Our signal target skill is Eviscerate. Eviscerate is a retaliation melee attack skill that unleashes two arcing waves of force in front of you. Both waves can hit the same enemy to increase the damage. Normally this skill is inflicting bleed. This is why we choose Elementalist to enable our skill to ignite. The signal target damage of this skill is pretty high and has very nice AoE coverage as well. But sadly, this skill is only usable after you blocked a hit and it would be annoying to use on its own for clear. Our clear ability is Reave. Reave is a melee attack skill that deals damage in area in front of you, gaining more and more area effect each time you hit tier 6 stacks. This will cover almost the full screen in front of you. Although this is very hard to notice because of the skill visual. The reason why we choose this skill because this has very high base damage, so we can freely clear tier 16 and nightmare maps. The base damage is coming from my favorite unique item in the game, Eviscerate Edge unique weapon. The more energy shield you have, the stronger will be this weapon. Combining this with Elementalist, Shaper of Flames and adding the very high damage effectiveness of Eviscerate, we getting a very strong combination that will take down Ubers under seconds. The damage is set, only the Tonkiness is missing. Part of the defensive layers is already covered with the energy shield stacking. Currently I have 17k energy shield and 2.3k regen while standing still. We have spell and attack block chance capped. Also when we block a hit, we will recover 5% of our energy shield. We also have 4 endurance charges which will lower down the physical damage and elemental damage taken significantly. We also have the golems as well that is also providing us regen, damage and Tonkiness at the same time. Also Shaper of Flame is converting 40% of physical damage of the enemy to fire damage, so the physical damage reduction is also covered in this build because every single time when you're taking a hit and you blocking it, your Tempest Shield will release the arc, the chain light or whatever is coming out, and it will ignite the enemy immediately. So you have on the enemy 40% physical damage converted to fire, that is reducing the physical damage taken significantly. That's why the Shaper Slam is just tickling us. As always, for my full build guide, I'm including a well-written note section as well inside the POB, and it's covering a majority of the question that you ask when you have a problem with the build, if or how to progress your character. And I including which mod do not run, and also a regex for it, and also a full written crafting section as well with step by step, as you can see here, such as like the body armor and the body armor colors as well, because this build is using off colors on the body armor and it would be very hard to get with the chromatic orb on its own, and the rest of the gear as well. Once again, step by step as always guys. So if you need help with the crafting, just literally open the POB or the Mobalytics guide and you will find your answer there, how you can reliably get the same items or the same item-ish that I have in my character. Now let's take a look on the items and how I crafted them. First thing, this build is using two unique items that is very key component both. So first is the Eviscerate Edge. We already talked about this. This is a very important, and the better roll on this one, the better damage will be, because this has a 10 to 15% roll, and if you have a lower roll, that will means you will losing out like 10% of your damage. And the other thing is Tides of Time. As always guys, we need utility flask gain free charge every 3 seconds. That is the only line that is matters. Not the other ones, just this is the most important one, because if you're combining this and the body armor implicit here and the flask charge gain on the flasks, you will have 100% uptime, as you can see here. And the rest of the items is fully self-crafted. So guys, let's start with the body armor, because that is the most crucial thing, because this is where your majority of your energy shield is coming from. So you're starting with a Twilight Regalia with Fractured Intelligence on it, and just literally spam Dance Fossil. Yes, Dense Fossil, and that's it. I know Dense Fossil, this league is kind of expensive, but honestly, guys, it is what it is. That is the easiest way to craft this item. I think there is no other better way, I think. Or maybe you can use Harvest Reforged defense, but it's very, very unlikely you will hit triple defense with good rolls. So this is why I'm saying this should be with Dense Fossils. And the implicits on this: physical damage from hits taken as chaos damage, and Flasks gain a charge every 3 seconds. And we using Grunt for the chaos damage taken, and we can use the lesser one for the from the Searing Exarch, because the Flask is not getting improved till you have the exceptional, so almost the highest tier one. So that's why I'm saying you don't need to worry about that. That's why the lesser is works as well. And now, as you can see here, it has 5 of color, right? This is a blue base, this is an int base, an energy shield base, and this would be every single time when you using chromatic orb, it would result blue sockets. So in the POB, guys, in the notes section, I included entirely how you can get these body armor colors exactly. And it's very, very easy, only matter of, I would say, luck. And especially this league, the Jeweler's Orb is kind of cheap, so you don't need to worry about this. Just need to be lucky to hit the correct colors while you're doing exactly like this. The next item is the gloves. Same as the body armor, int fracture, and we will need on this one high energy shield. Although this time we can use essence on this. Literally we can use essence on this one, the maximum energy shield essence, the highest maximum energy shield essence, and you spamming this to you getting a decent roll with the increased energy shield. And basically, this is how I got these gloves, because the suffix is kinda whatever, because honestly, we don't need, guys, that much dexterity, and of course accuracy rating absolutely not needed. So technically speaking, I could reforge the suffixes, but I settled down on this one. So this is how I get this one. This is a very, very easy, because this is just literally essence spamming, and essence is much cheaper than the Dense Fossil. And the implicits on this one inflicts fire explosion on hit, and also while there's a pinnacle boss in your presence, fire damage overtime multiplier. This is a very, very huge damage boost, and once again, this beard is designed for boss killing, so this is why I'm using this one and not the regular fire damage overtime multiplier. The helmet once again is the same. We using literally fractured intelligence on this one, and once again essence spam till we hitting a very decent amount of percentage energy shield increase. And this is how I get my helmet, although I was needed to craft cold resistance a little bit, and the physical damage from hits taken. Chaos damage is one of the implicits, and maximum lighting resistance as well is the implicit here. And the boots is, so guys, the boots is, I just purchased it. That was on the market for like 1 divine, and I snagged it. It was pretty damn nice, and you can see here movement speed, energy shield, and intelligence, all of them is welcomed. And the thing is, guys, you can get with fractured mod on it, but I think you can find something like that on the market as well. But if you're not finding it, just fractured intelligence, and once again spam energy shield essence on it till you hit movement speed at high percentage energy shield, and maybe you will have better boots than this. And now is the shield. The shield is a very important and very crucial to do this right. Transfer attuned spirit shield, and you're using a Crusader orb immediately on it. And then you starting spamming the highest block chance essence on it till you hitting recover percentage of energy shield when you block. Very important, this one. And then if you get this one, well, you can try to unwheel down, for instance, the prefixes, so you can craft maximum energy shield on it, because this is very crucial to have energy shield on this one, because if you're missing like the maximum energy shield on it, you will losing out easily like 600 energy shield, and you know that could be very, you know, on the edge when you trying to face tank ubers or just standing still if that is your goal. So this is sadly a very RNG based, and it took me like 2 or 3 divine worth of essences to hit this one, and I lost like 2 or 3 annuals as well when I tried to annul down one single prefix, because it removed the energy shield block part, so it was immediately brick, so I was needed to once again spam the block chance essence. But once again guys, now guys, the rings was very easy. Just purchase a Crusader influenced Moonstone ring and spam intelligence essence on it. And basically that's it. You're doing this till you hitting percentage maximum energy shield, preferably tier 1, and then hopefully you're looking for maximum energy shield on it or maximum energy shield craft. And basically this is how I got both of these ring, and this is why I have on this one, for instance, life. Okay, you don't need life because this is a CI build, and the other ring is the same. Intessence TI hitting the maximum energy shield. This is the most cost efficient way to get these rings, by the way, because technically I included in the POB a different method, right? There is 2 methods, but this is a kind of hard and expensive as well, so it's much better if you're just doing the good old way, just essence spamming. But I included both. It's up to you which one would you approach. And the amulet, honestly, I just purchased the amulet, guys. There was this amulet was like 40 KS, because nobody really cares about maximum energy shield and damage over time multiplier together and int on it, so that's why I'm using this one. And I just purchased this one for like 40 KS, and I anointing Whisper of Doom, which is you can apply an additional curse, and because we're using 2 curses. So this is how you can craft all of your items. And once again guys, in the notes section I included how you can craft all of the items that you see here, and also some extra tips such as like the PoE DB, and always check the craft of exile before doing anything, you know, expensive crafting, such as like suffixes cannot be changed or prefixes cannot be changed. Very important. Now the flask, guys, this is the single target setup that currently see. So we will use a prismatic tincture with increased effect and fire damage over time multiplier with melee weapons. Very important, because every single time when you will about to use your Eviscerate, you just pressing your tincture before it, right, and then using your Eviscerate, and in this way you will getting a very huge amount of damage boost. So this is how you can reliably increase your damage output. We're using all the elemental resistance flasks, and very important, you need charge recovery on all of them. And you looking at around like 40% charge recovery. Under that, you will not have 100% uptime on your flask, so it will fall off and your resistance will fall off as well. All of the flask will needs to be used when charge reach full. Very basic stuff, I think. And we using additional elemental resistances during effect. Avoid being stunned during effect, very important, and avoid being shagged during effect. This is also very important, because if you're combining this and the boots avoid being shagged modifier, this will give you 100% avoid being shagged, because we're using the Storm Shroud. This is how we're getting elemental elements immunity, and we're using a Soulful Flask with gain free charge when you hit by an enemy. Very good, because we will take hits, right? So this will recharging very often, because this doesn't have 100% uptime, and this will grant you a very huge amount of life regen boost, damage boost, and also consecrated ground, because the consecrated ground will give you 5% life regen, and that is converting to energy shield regen per second. This is how we have that much energy shield regen while the flask is active. The mapping setup, I'm using a single onslaught flask, and I'm using here the quicksilver flask like this, and this is my clear setup, and this is how I playing. So this is a kind of fast play style, because you will getting like 80% movement speed boost because of the flask effect increase from the Tides of Time bed. So this is how I playing the map, and basically this is the flask setup. Now the passive tree, guys. The passive tree is changed tiny bit, I mean, we gained, as you can see, a lot of new medium cluster javels. So I want to start with the cluster javels first. So we're using here a fire damage cluster with Burning Bright and Prismatic Hurt. Up here, we're using Prismatic Hurt and Burning Bright. And, surprise, we're using here Heavy Hitter and Prodigious Defenses, because this is granting us more spell block and block chance. So this is how we almost reaching block cap easily. This is very important, this node and this node together. And I have here Veteran Defender. So if you want to these two nodes here, because we just only care about these two, you need to take the Veteran Defender here. So you will be getting exactly this cluster setup. And honestly, guys, these clusters was just one divine each, so it was not really a big deal to purchasing that ones. So, and this was literally like 60k, as people not care about this large cluster. So the clusters was not that expensive when I was making the build. And the other, so we're using free medium cluster javel. We're using Wasting Affliction and Cooked Alive. And I'm using here Reinvigoration and Brute Force Potency, and Reinvigoration and Brute Force Potency once again. This one was literally 20k. It was absolutely cheap as well. And we're using one single small cluster javel with Enduring Composure. So this is how we were getting endurance charges, because when we take a hit, we will gain an endurance charge, and this will be occur very, very often because we face tanking many stuff. And we're using a lot of unique javel in this build. So let's start with the Replica Recklessness Defense. We're using two of these with a 4% chance to spell block and 6% chance to block attack damage. This is the two unique javel here that we're using. We're using here Storm Shroud once again. This is how we're getting elemental ailments immunity. This is why we need avoid being shack craft on the boots and on the flask. We're using here a Watcher Eye with damage over time multiplier while affected by Malevolence, and gain maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield while affected by Clarity. We have 1.8k maximum mana that is transitioning almost 200 energy shield, and that is getting boosted by the percentage. So this is giving us easily 600-700 energy shield on its own. I'm using here a single rare javel with corruptible immunity because that is very important. I still think, even if you not really want to fight against Eviscerate, you will getting corrupted blood inflicted on you by mapping. So that is just, you know, very easy defensive against it. So we're using a Light of the Meaning unique javel here with passive skill in radius, also grant 3% increased energy shield. This is the best spot for this one on this tree because we have a lot of nodes here and the small nodes as well. So we're gaining almost 1.5k energy shield from this quadrant. We're using here a rare Abyss javel, very important because this is how we're getting stun immunity. 30% chance to avoid being stunned and also maximum energy shield. Basically, that's two modifiers that you really need. You need exactly 30% avoid being stunned mod on this one because this is how it's adding together. And also I'm using here a single tattoo 10% avoid being stunned because this is 40% on its own, right? We have 50% from the flask and that is getting boosted by the flask effectiveness. So this is 64% and this is additional 10% and additional 30. So that is 40, 60, 106 or 3%. It depends on how the game calculates the rounding, but we getting stun immunity. Ascendancy is also changed, guys, because we lost our breach lord bloodline that was tied to the grafts. So I was needed to take instead the mastermind on Discord. This is very good. So this is why, by the way, in the clips you are seeing me, I'm using my shield charge pretty often, even on single target, because we will inflicting fire exposure, right? So we will inflicting additional minus resistance to that one because of the mastermind on Discord. And also we taking Shaper of Flame. This is why we playing Elementalist. This is the only reason almost, because this is how we igniting the target. We using Shaper of Storm. This is a very important thing as well, because it will immediately shock the target and it will take much higher damage. This is still, once again, this is why I using the shield charge even on signal target to just you know, get the big shock on the target. And we using Legion of the Primordia still because your golems is elemental immune and they resummoning when they die. Although on Uber boss fights I not really seen they dying that often because they have a lot of HP. They also immune to elemental damage unless they standing in fizzed ground degen or something, they will not really die. And also your sulfur flask consecrated ground applies to them as well, because if you just standing still, you can see they running around you and they will recovering their life as well. Now the gems and links. So I'm using, guys, here Eviscerate with level 1 burning damage imbued. So guys, if you don't have this one, you will deal less damage. Simple as that. So that is very, I'm not saying it's needed or not needed, but it's very nice to have. You know what I mean, right? So this is literally like 20% more damage, which is kind of insane for a 7th link, right? And we're using volatility here with elemental damage with attacks, deadly ailment support, damage on full life, and unbound ailment support. Although via mapping, I'm swapping out the deadly ailments to Reave, and I'm swapping out the unbound ailments to Ignite Prolife support. So we have Ignite Prolife now, and we have much smoother clear as well, because we don't need to block every single time to deal damage. So we can just literally kill the, you know, the white and blue monsters, and if we need, we can use the Eviscerate still on rares, because we are blocking pretty damn often. And in the gloves, we're using Arctic Armour with Malevolence, Discipline, and Enlighten level 3 that we don't need, luckily, the level 4. And in the shield, I'm using Summon Lightning Golem, Tempest Shield, Clarity level 1. You don't need to use Clarity if you don't have the Watcher Eye that I showed to you. We're using a new support gem, Pyre, because this will use the called Pyre skill part. So every single time when you're using the your shield charge, there is 50% chance to call down a Shampiller that will inflict a Covering Ash. And Covering Ash, 20% fire damage taken increased, which is a very huge amount of damage increase. We're using faster attack here, shield charge, and Flame Dash as our, you know, immediate teleport skill. In the helmet, we're using Arcanist Brand with Elemental Weakness, Flame Surge level 1, because this is not scales anything with the levels, just only we care about Burning Ground deals 25% of fire damage per second of Ignite affecting by enemy. Okay, that is the reason. And flammability here. In the weapon, we're using the Stone Golem, Chaos Golem, and Flame Golems. This is the full build guide for my Ignite, Reave, Eviscerate Elementalist. And honestly, guys, when the first time I saw the patch note, they nerfed a lot of things about this build. I was worried, but after some testing, and I hoped on my old character in standard, and I just tested out, it was not felt that bad. So I was needed to tweak a little bit, because, you know, the Golem Javelins got nerfed, Energy Shield got nerfed, so many things got nerfed, even the Defied Forces got nerfed. Sadly, this is a very big cutoff, because that is the main reason why I was using that node, because of the Ignite refresh. But they got rid of that. I don't know why that was too OP to have such a nice quality of life for Ignite build, especially their vision is hit once, hit big, and you will inflict a big Ignite. And yeah, but honestly, whatever. I fixed all of the problems, although there could be a much more investment version of this one. Maybe like you getting Mage Blood, or you getting a very nice new Shrine Bat. So yeah, but this is, guys, I think the minimum level that you need to spend on this build. I spent around on this one like 60 or 70 divine total, but I crafted the majority of the gear, guys, keeping this one in mind. And honestly, the majority money was going towards the Tides of Time, because I was purchasing that one for like like 9 divine, and when you get into this video that will be much lower, I think. And also I purchased this Eviscerate version for 8 divine, so that is immediately 17 divine, so see what I mean, right? And also the Amphiral Edge was especially expensive at that time, so maybe when you seeing this video it will be lower price tag, so maybe it will not take up that much time if you're using my PoB and using the crafting advices that I'm told you in the video. Till then, guys, I hope you enjoyed this build guide video. If you have any question, please leave a comment below, or you can find me on twitch.tv/Pridget2. Thanks for watching. I was Pridget. See you next time.